hit some anytime goal scorers as well as safe shots on goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some freaking money. It's time for Pocket with Joe. Hey, what's up, guys? Happy Monday. It's time for Pocket with Joe over here on YouTube and X. I want to thank everyone that is joining me to watch. I'm Jo Madden Sports. You can follow me. Well, I'm Jo Madden. You can follow me on all social media at Jo Madden Sports. If you're watching over on X, come on over to YouTube so you can jump in the live chat here. We got 5 games to go over today. Now, we definitely have a home dog that is barking that I'm looking at. I've got a couple other games where, it's pretty ugly. So not sure you really want to jump into them, but we're going to break down each and every single one of these games. And like we always do at the end of the show, we will do the recap as well as talk about any players for the 2+ point situation that you might want to jump in. And I do bookmark these shows over on YouTube so that you can go back, watch that segment that you want to watch, especially if you can't hang around for the full thing. So let's get into the first game here. We got the Tampa Bay Lightning taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now the Leafs, a home dog in this one, coming in at plus 105. The Tampa Bay Lightning at minus 126, total of 6.5. Now the big news of this morning that Braden Point and Nikita Kucherov will be both playing here for the Tampa Bay Lightning. This is a battle of the Atlantic. This should be a good one, you guys. With the Battle of the Atlantic, the Tampa Bay Lightning currently sitting first. Toronto sitting 6th, but they're only 3 points behind Montreal and Detroit, who are sitting 3rd in the division, tied right there. So this is a really tight race in the Atlantic Division. We're seeing Toronto coming off that loss to the Montreal Canadiens on Saturday. That was a shootout loss. So they're off that loss. We're looking at a Tampa Bay Lightning team that's lost their last 3. Saturday, they lost to the Isles 2-0. They were at home in that one. But when we look at those last 3 that they've lost, they've been able to outshoot their opponents insanely, getting no puck luck out there, 103-73, and lost those 3 games by a total of 4 goals. So this team has been playing really competitive. We do have backup goaltending in for Toronto. Johansson coming in between the pipes here. For the Tampa Bay Lightning, he's got a 2.85 goals against average and an 8.96 save percentage. Now, I do think there's a couple ways to go with this. I do think we start off slow. Battle the Atlantic. You're looking at both of these teams looking to give that protection to their goaltending. Toronto's going to have to do a lot of it with Hildeby in between the pipes because he's got a 2.51 goals against average, but he does have a 927 save percentage. They're just allowing so many shots. They allow 31.4 shots on net per game. Now, they've got a really decent kill at 81.5, but the Tampa Bay Lightning's kill is so strong. 3rd best kill in the league at 86.7%. So we're going to see, I think, a defensive battle between these two. The first period, I love the first period, under 1.5 goals. I know we have that firepower out there with both of these teams. You look at the lineup here for the Toronto Maple Leafs, there's no denying what Austin Matthews, William Nylander, Matthew Knives, John Tavares are able to do when they're clicking. But then you also look at the Tampa Bay Lightning with Nikita Kucherov, Braden Point in the lineup. This is a team that can fire and fire at will and hit goaltenders. So I know it's nerve-wracking taking under 1.5 in the first period. I'd rather the under 1.5 in the first period at plus 120 than the full game to the under because I could see an empty netter ruining that game. So I will take the first period under 1.5. But if you're leaning towards a team on the money line in the first period, you have seen the Toronto Maple Leafs win their last 4 first periods as a dog. You're looking at them coming in at minus 108. Now, Toronto has dominated this series and won 7 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams, but they are coming off overtime, which is never a strong suit. Off overtime as an underdog, they've lost their last 5. So it's sketchy for the full game. I think this is a 1-0 first period for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And keep your fingers crossed because it has every ability to go this way, or it has the ability for the goaltending here to just be lit up by the Toronto Maple Leafs and this be a 2-1 first period for the Tampa Bay Lightning, blowing all of those bats. I really am counting on Toronto to step up on the defensive side and see us stay under, as well as them just net that one goal. Yeah, it's going to be Timothy. It's going to be either one way or the other. There's going to be no in between. You're going to have to see what back up goaltending can do. And yeah, I do think Toronto can keep it within a goal. So if you see the Tampa Bay Lightning go up first in that first period, come back in on Toronto plus the 1.5, you're going to get better value at that point. At this point, there is no value right now. Yeah, so they aren't the same without Nikita Kucherov, Ben, that is for sure, but he is listed as playing now tonight. So Nikita Kucherov will be out on the ice. Yeah, Kucherov will be out. I was hoping to. I really was hoping. This morning when I put in Toronto money line and the first period money line and the under 1.5, I was really counting on no Nikita Kucherov, but now with him back on the ice, we know he can be a difference maker. But that's where I'm going with that, you guys. There are so many playmakers out there for both of these teams that have the ability to really be impactful. One player that does have that trend is Nick Paul. He scored at least 1 goal in 4 of the last 5 for the Lightning versus the Maple Leafs. I love looking at those trend players, especially when you have like a loaded slate of players out there that have the ability to get that puck in the back of the net. Let's move on to the next game here. Actually, let me get my bookmark. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Let me know how your weekend went, you guys. We saw major upsets in the NFL. Don't forget to join me on Wager Talk tonight for last call, as well as on Betting Pros. So I'd appreciate you guys joining me on both of those shows live tonight. Bring your questions, bring your comments for the NFL. But we're talking NHL here, and we're going to get to game number 2 as we look at the LA Kings taking on the Utah Mammoth. Now, the LA Kings are minus 105. Why? Versus Utah. This line is confusing. The Utah Mammoth minus 113, total 5.5. Juice to the under at minus 118. Looking at this one, Darcy Kemper between the pipes for LA, Vermelka here for Utah. Now, Utah, they do a really sound job at giving their goaltending support. They only allow 24.6 shots on goal per game on average, second best overall in the league. This is a strong home team. This team out on the road, they blow, but at home, they're 7-3-1. They're off that road loss to the Calgary Flames, 2-0. They got shut out. They're going to be looking for revenge here. Can they get it versus the LA Kings with Darcy Kemper between the pipes? The LA Kings are averaging 28.6 shots on goal per game. Their kill is nothing to write home about, you guys. It's 13.8%. Or sorry, their power play is 13.8%. You imagine if their kill was that bad? Their kill is 80.7%. So strong kills on both sides. Both of these teams over 80% for that kill. Both weak power plays, both right around that 13-14 mark for their power play conversion. I'm looking here at the LA Kings off a game in which they sure got their mojo back, winning that game versus the Chicago Blackhawks on Saturday. It was a 6-0 win there for them. Huge win. Second game on the road here. They have the Kraken on Wednesday, then the Flames on Saturday, then three more on the road. So I think the Kings can get it done. This is the first game home off of 6 out on the road for Utah, which is never a strong suit, but it is kind of like when they went bad on the road. They went 2-4 on the road, but then you kick in the kicker for me. This is their third game in 4 nights. I can't trust a team. I think tired legs will come into play for Utah. Now they have won their last 8 at home versus the Pacific. So anyone who likes those trends, and I talked about Utah's strength at home, well, you got to look at the Kings' strength out there on the road. 9-2-4 out there on the road this season. This team, I do think, is the stronger, deeper lineup of teams, and I think they should be able to get it done, especially with Logan Cooley still not in the lineup for the Utah Mammoth. Logan Cooley did go out with that injury versus the Vancouver Canucks, so not sure when he's going to be getting back in the lineup, but I do expect the Kings to take advantage of the fact that Logan Cooley isn't out there. This is a game where I can see it staying under 1.5 in the first period, under 5.5 for the full game, hence the juice at minus 118 to the under. And then I think the Kings can win at 3-1. So I'm looking for the Kings to come out and get the win. Now the Kings straight up on the money line are -105. Like I said, slight dog here, still questioning why this line is that way. If you want to take the alt puck line for the LA Kings like I did earlier today, come on, you guys. It's plus 230 right now with the Kings laying 1.5. I just don't see the Utah Mammoth getting the win. Yeah, it's got to be the Kings. It really does. I don't understand why they are the underdog. You have 4-0 on kicker props. Dicker the kicker for the LA Chargers over 1.5 field goals tonight at -140. Let's go Dicker the kicker. So definitely a great way to go. Trevor Moore at +155 for the LA Kings. Yeah, I like Trevor Moore. I like Kevin Fiala as well to come out nice and strong tonight. Trevor Moore. I wanted to say Kevin Moore. I don't know why. Trevor Moore with 5 points in the last 5 games. Great way to go with Trevor Moore. I like where you're going. You look at Fiala too. He leads this team in scoring with 10 goals. He's also in the top power play unit. So I think Kevin Fiala and Trevor Moore, great way to look. Okay, next game, you guys. We're at the 11-minute mark. We're going to look at the Buffalo Sabres versus my Calgary Flames. My mom's not going to be at the game tonight. She was at that game, and really, I forgot to think about that when I handicapped the game on Saturday night when Dustin Wolf got the shutout 2-0 versus Utah. He stopped 27 shots on his goal in that game. Now they're going to face a Buffalo team that's really struggled on the season. Buffalo's 2-8-2 on the road, 11-13-4 overall on the season. Calgary at home coming off that beautiful win on Saturday night where Dustin Wolf stood tall. What was it? His second shutout of the season. He's got a 2.90 goals against average and an 8.99 save percentage. Now, Calgary, looking at the lines in this one, they're -110. This is a pick 'em either way. We have seen movement in that line, you guys. Let me just look at what the look ahead opening line was for this. Calgary was coming in right around that -119 kind of mark. Now, to shop those lines, when I look over at Odds Logic, I'm seeing Pinnacle does have the -105. We're seeing Hard Rock at -115. So definitely a little bit of difference in the juice that you're going to lay across the books. Now, Lankican coming in here for the Buffalo Sabres. He has a 2.57 goals against average and an 8.95 save percentage. The one thing about the Buffalo Sabres is they have the best kill in the league, 87.2%. And the Calgary Flames just have a terrible weakest power play at 13.7%. We got a decent kill for Calgary, though, at 83.7%. The power play is not that strong for Buffalo. And we did see Calgary already win this matchup back in November. It was 6-2. I do think Calgary can get another win at -110. Is it my favorite bet of the night? No, probably not. But I do like Calgary, especially because of the scheduling spot here for Buffalo. Game 3 of 6 out there on the road and a first night of a back-to-back with Edmonton on deck tomorrow. You know the big opponent is Edmonton on deck. They've lost their last 2 here, the Buffalo Sabres as well. Friday, that lost to the Jets, 4-1. So they've been off all weekend. Calgary played Saturday, so definitely the rest advantage with Buffalo. You know that if Calgary gets up first, Buffalo has the ability to get back in these games. This could be a live betting situation if Calgary goes up first, coming back in on the Buffalo Sabres +1.5. I wouldn't go the other way, though. If Buffalo gets up first, I wouldn't go with Calgary +1.5. Calgary's kind of like feast or famine lately, right? Like in all of their games, they're either playing strong, looking good out there, or they're just not. So I wouldn't take anything too seriously in this game. Jason Zucker, though, has been solid out there for the Buffalo Sabres. He's been scoring, but this isn't a pretty game. Flames are your lock tonight. Well, Timothy, I'm glad you have more faith in the Flames than I do. I do think they should be able to get the win. Like I said, they already won in November 6-2. I think they can get it done, but I definitely am a little cautious with them tonight. One team, we got a home dog here. I told you guys we'd have a home dog, and maybe not the prettiest home dog, pretty ugly home dog in the Vancouver Canucks taking on the Detroit Red Wings. But I really do think Lankican between the pipes will be strong here versus Detroit. Vancouver's had their strength versus the Detroit Red Wings. It's been really weird. And I also look at Detroit's schedule. They're definitely going to be looking ahead to the Oilers and the Blackhawks, and there's because the Blackhawks are playing great with Connor Bedard. They're going to look past a Vancouver team that's 4-8-1 at home. I really do think so. Game 3 of 6 out there on the road. They're at Calgary on Wednesday. Look past Calgary as well. At the Oilers on Thursday, and then at the Blackhawks on Saturday to finish up this road trip. I know it's a far lookout here with Edmonton coming up, but you look at this Vancouver team and they have lost 4 of their last 5 home games, so it's a lot to ask. But they won 7 of the last 9 versus Detroit. Sometimes teams just have other teams' number, and I think it's really reflected in the line here why we're not seeing the Vancouver Canucks like a plus 130 underdog at plus 105. The books, in my opinion, are telling me they're not willing to take a lot of money on the Vancouver Canucks. They're wanting people to pay that short price on the Detroit Red Wings here on the road. When we saw this line open, the look ahead was 131.5. It has dropped down to the money line for Detroit. It has dropped down to minus 125. The majority of the books still minus 127 on consensus. So it'll be interesting. I do think, though, that Vancouver gets a win. So shop for the best line, the best money line you can get out there. Yeah, Kane and DeBrincat. I like that. DeBrincat there for the Red Wings, Evander Kane for the Vancouver Canucks. Each per point. It is a great way to go because I do think those guys can answer back. Now, there has been a little bit of issues with goaltending, right? So Cam Talbot, he's got a 3.01 goals against average at 887. Save percentage, he's better than these numbers, but I do think if Vancouver is winning it, it's going to be a high-scoring game. Now, Detroit has failed to cover the puck line in the last 6 as a favorite, so definitely something to know. One thing you could do instead of taking Vancouver home dog at plus 105 is just look at Vancouver first period. They've been able to win the first period at home as an underdog against the Atlantic Division in their last 5. So if you're looking for those trends, that's definitely a solid way to go looking at that first period win there for the Vancouver Canucks, and then Detroit to get back in that game. But I don't know. I don't love it. I think Vancouver, with their ability to beat this team, gets it done again. And then last but not least, another ugly game. You guys, it's not the best slate, not my favorite slate on the board today, but we're looking at the Minnesota Wild taking on the Seattle Kraken. We know how the Kraken have been doing. We know the Wild's inconsistencies out there too, coming off that loss to Vancouver, 4-2, I believe it was in their last game out. They're a minus 134 favorite here on the road. I can't trust them even against a Seattle team that's lost their last 5. The Seattle Kraken plus 112. Total sitting at 5.5, minus 118 to the under. We're looking at Gustafsson versus Grubauer. Can't trust Grubauer. Yeah, I can trust Gustafsson. But the Wild have lost the last 2. Saturday loss on the road to Vancouver. Seattle Kraken lost the last 5. Saturday to the Red Wings 4-3. They've got the worst kill in the league, 84.8% kill rate, 22.8% power play conversion here for the Wild. And that's where when the Wild are winning these games, it's because they're converting on that power play, because their 5-on-5 offense has really been inconsistent. Look for the Minnesota Wild to come out and be able to play strong on that power play, get those conversions tonight. So with that, I'm going to look at power play points for sure in this game. You got Kaprizov coming in for his power play point at plus 190. You got Matt Boldy at plus 220 and Zarello coming in at plus 230. Those would be the top 3 playmakers, and then Ek at plus 280 that you want to look at on that power play. If I'm just going to take one, I would look at Matt Boldy on the power play at plus 220, and then Kaprizov at plus 190. You could also look at both of them for their points. So separately, you can't bet them because they're way too highly juiced, over minus 200 for both of them. So you would have to look at one of these players for 2+ points. This is a game versus Grubauer that I do think you can see the Minnesota Wild get 2+ points for playmakers out there. Kaprizov 2+ points at plus 220. Matt Boldy at 2+ points at plus 250. I think both of them have the ability to be able to get there in this game. So I'm going to roll with the Minnesota Wild, Kaprizov and Boldy, 2+ points. But then I'm going to look at them here. First period, money line here, or puck line. So I do like both. So when we look at the first period here for the Minnesota Wild, I think they're going to get up fast in this one. They're minus 136 on the money line. If your juice tolerance is okay at minus 136, then so be it. But if you want to lay the puck line with me, minus a half a goal coming in at plus 168. So that's where I'll be going. The Wild on the puck line at plus 168 in the first period of this game. They've won the last 8 first periods versus the Seattle Kraken. I expect them to come out nice and strong in this one. So that is where I'm going, you guys. It's only a 5-game slate. We do have a lot busier of a day out there on the ice tomorrow, but we'll get into the recap, the 2+ points as well. I want to wish you guys all the best in all of your bets today. Make sure you do me a solid, hit that like button, hit the subscribe, the notification bell, and drop below this video what you're liking out there on the ice. So it is a recap time. Let's jump straight into it. The Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. First period, gotta be a defensive battle, under 1.5. Plus 120. The Leafs win this one 3-2. I'm kind of nervous, kind of cautious because I do think Nikita Kucherov will be so impactful out there. I'll take Toronto first period. So first period out there on the money line at -108. Nick Paul to get a goal here for the Lightning is the only playmaker I'll look at for that game. So many playmakers on both of these teams. LA Kings versus the Utah Mammoth. Give me the Kings to win. I'm going to take the Kings on the money line this one. And then I'm going to also look at them on the puck line, laying 1.5 goals. I think the Kings come out with a nice big win, 3-1, 4-2 style game here for the LA Kings. I really don't think 4-2. I lean more the 3-1. Giving you the first period under 1.5 and the game under 5.5, but you could get that empty netter, and that's the only thing that scares me. But I do think it is a 3-1 style win here. Kevin Fiala is where I would look for the LA Kings. Logan Cooley, remember, still out of the lineup here for Utah. The Buffalo Sabres versus the Calgary Flames. Give me the Calgary Flames to win this. Hold your nose and don't watch it. I'm going to be terrified. Give me Jason Zucker to score a goal, though, for Buffalo. And then for Calgary, stay off. Maybe Huberdeau, you guys. The Detroit Red Wings and the Vancouver Canucks. Give me Vancouver. They have dominated this series. Vancouver is a home dog at +105. You could also look at first period. They've been strong in the first period versus the Atlantic. The Minnesota Wild versus the Seattle Kraken. Give me the Wild first period. If you want to do money line at -136, I don't blame you, but I'll do puck line laying 0.5 goal at +168. They have won the last 8 first periods versus the Seattle Kraken. They've dominated this matchup between them, and I do think they can get another win here today. The 2+ points, Kaprizov for the 2+ points for the Minnesota Wild. Boldy for the 2+ points for the Wild. And then I would look at Fiala as well for the LA Kings, but it's going to be a low-scoring game, so be a little cautious with that one. But you guys, let's make some freaking money. It is a great Monday to have a good day. Enjoy Monday Night Football again. For Monday Night Football, join me on Wager Talk at 7 p.m. Eastern live. I've got a great lineup of handicappers jumping on that, and then also join me on Betting Pros right before these games kick off. 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be live for a one-on-one question answer period over on Betting Pros that runs 20 minutes from 6 o'clock my time, so 8 o'clock Eastern until kickoff. So come on in to Betting Pros on their YouTube. Ask any questions about the game. We'll be talking about everything. So Aaron, hi, welcome to the show. It is December 8th, you guys. Hard to believe Christmas is right around the corner. Hopefully you've been good this year and Santa's going to be good to you. Let me know below this video as well what you're asking for from Santa. If you just want your Kansas City Chiefs to run the board and make it to the playoffs. I don't think they are, you guys. It's going to be interesting. What you're hoping for your teams out there, what you're hoping for your teams out there on the ice as well. Like I said, that Atlantic division really tight. The Pacific division's tight. You got really tight divisions out there and how these teams are playing. But you guys, all the best in all your bets. We'll be back next time here on YouTube, on X for another Puck It with Joe. Until then, stay hot. And you know the deal. Let's make some freaking money.